So I realized, like right away this morning, I'm usually still sleeping at this time because I'm used to night shift. But I woke up and it was like it's the remnant, it's the remnant, it's the remnant, and I get really confused by the remnant. So the remnant is the special. Here, let me read it so I don't confuse people. The Bible frequently uses the term remnant to describe a small, faithful group preserved by God from a larger population amid judgment, destruction, or apostasy. Okay, these are the people that will go on to be tested through the fire and trial. Okay, not the churches. No. The reason I say this is because, and let me clear something up, because I kept saying that Bill Wilson, the co-founder of Alcoholics Anonymous, lived in Ohio. No, I got that mixed. Dr. Bob lived in Akron, Ohio, okay? Bill Wilson lived in New York, which makes more sense. So both him, but he started at the Oxford group, okay? So there's been, all this talk, the Oxford group is responsible for AA. No, they didn't have 12 steps. They had like this 5C program thing. Okay, I don't even think they got it. But they didn't, and they were just a non-denominational Christian type church. But Bill Wilson pulled away from it because they were aggressive in their evangelical stuff, but they had some sort of group, okay? So there were some things from that, like they had the 4 absolutes, and which was like absolute honesty, but then when Bill Wilson talks about when he was inspired to write the 12 steps, he was just at his kitchen table, and it's like it just came on him quickly. That's how God gives it to you too. It's quick, and he just yeah. So that's how he described it in a 1953 Grapevine article. Wilson recounted drafting the steps in late 1938 during a 30-minute burst of clarity, calling it astonishing given his emotional state and attributing it to guidance. And he linked it to his own sudden spiritual awakening. So that, that's God. That's how God works. He does it quickly, not aggressively. It's so hard to explain. I don't want to get off on that trap. Not that trap, but just that it's so hard to explain. It's like there's only one way you can know it. You have to follow the path. So, in order to, the remnant keeps the true faith. The apostles were an example. Noah and his family were a remnant. Okay, the true faith has to carry on. Okay, the churches, the Christian denominations, I'm not trying to be mean here. It's just they became what the Pharisees were. What did the Pharisees do? They attacked the apostles, right? But Jesus wasn't happy with the church elders of the church back then. It's the same thing now, because all of the churches, all the denominations got on board that it's just about a book. So, Jesus was literally kind of, giving them I'm gonna do all this healing outside of every single one of your denominations because of you all falling into the exact same trap. So there's not the remnant there, not really, because what do you get out of the churches? And I have nothing against them. But I do know through my history in AA that they've come against it. I mean, AA members don't care. They're just like, okay, whatever. Because we have the evidence. They don't. They have a book. We have actual evidence of the healing, of the miraculous things that take place. We do. Okay, nothing is around for 90 years like that in 180 countries, and it's just, fake. And it's all self-supporting? No. Oh, by the way, for those, on their path of symbolism, the circle and the triangle that the AA uses, it's on like their coins, Unity Service Recovery, that wasn't their official logo. In fact, now they've gotten rid of it. They got rid of it a long time ago because somebody just started using it. It wasn't Bill Wilson or anybody. And then it just like kind of took off, but it became a copyright issue. So they don't use it. You may still see it in a meeting. But it really wasn't, I had found out that wasn't their original emblem. So for all of you people that carry on about the Freemasons, stop. But that said, the way you'd carry the remnant over is AA. I'm not saying everybody in AA is the remnant. I'm saying that God is always going to make sure the true faith. Just like that's what the apostles did. They carried the true message. Then after they died, of course, the church structure's no different than the Pharisees over time created, from the get-go, getting it wrong, okay? Because they wanted control. They wanted their hierarchy. They didn't. So then God creates AA. And see, the thing is that there were so many people that were struggling with alcohol, and the church said, we don't know what to do. So that's why God said, well, I'm gonna show you what to do, and show what fools y'all are. So the remnant, there's likely some remnants that don't, because when you're a remnant, you don't know it. You don't. They're usually not self-aware of it. However, the biblical remnants often operate without self-awareness of their status, functioning faithfully amid widespread unfaithfulness, while God alone identifies and preserves them. These are the people that he'll put through the fire. Yeah, and so I know that. See, the reason, especially with members of Alcoholics Anonymous, is we're stripped of that ego. That's the biggest thing. Okay, the apostles were stripped of their ego. These churches, it's all about the pews. It's all about entertainment, giving some big pretty show or play or, some big sermon. Oh, God came to me and, and it's all empty, okay? Because, God's not there. But God continued, and he did it in this country. It's very important that he did it here. So, because he was keeping the covenant of the original Protestants, because they made those covenants. So that was him still carrying it out, even though he was not happy with any of the churches. If you love all your pastors, that's fine. I would say that's just your surface, okay? What the recovering alcoholic has to go through is it's literally tested through the fire. It really is. So I was sober long before I became a registered nurse, and the moment I entered nursing, okay, well, it was just the ridiculous, unethical bullshit, and so most nurses fall into this habit of they know C-suite will target them. So I mean, it's not that they'll never speak up, but a lot of times it's let's look the other way kind of thing, because it doesn't do any good to speak up. So see, for somebody who's a recovering alcoholic, this is why I probably should have never became a nurse. It's not that we're saints, because no, nobody in Alcoholics Anonymous thinks they're saints. It's because rigorous honesty is like the foundation. Once you start down the path of the little white lies, it's all over the literature that'll lead. So to me, the rigorous honesty is crucial. It doesn't mean I'm some saint and I'm just a little tattletale. No, but for something, when you're a nurse and you're standing up for the right thing, and then you find out as a nurse you get targeted, and I've had it done at more than one place, it's been absolutely exhausting. I mean, through the years of my nursing career, I've been on my knees at times, like, God, what do you want me to do? What am I to do? Most people would not struggle with this. They would just conform. But see, that's hard, because that's the difference, okay? And the Bible says don't conform to this world. And yet the alcoholic learns how not to conform, depending. Like if they're in an office job, maybe they don't deal with the struggles I do. But when I have people's lives in, my hands, and corruption, and it's very hard, because it's like my life and death. We have to be rigorously honest. Do I sacrifice it? And so it's been this constant struggle. So that makes me understand more why God got my attention in 2020 and wanted me to start speaking up, because the remnant isn't going to be in the churches. I'm not saying none of them are saved. I think all of them should question, are you really? Because if you haven't been tested through any fire, real fire on an ongoing basis, then maybe you're just saved by belief. I don't know. But the remnant God created through Alcoholics Anonymous.